FCT Police Command, in collaboration with the River State Police Command, has successfully rescued 4-year-old Hope Evans, who was kidnapped on 31st October 2024. The suspect, Blessing Okoye, allegedly abducted the child from Model Community Nursery and Primary School, Azubie, Port Harcourt, luring him away with biscuits and eggs. To conceal his identity, the suspect reportedly changed his name to David Evans. The rescue operation was led by FCT Police Commissioner CP Olatunji Disu following extensive investigations. The suspect was traced to Maraba, Abuja, where she was arrested on 29th November 2024. The boy's mother, Lydia Jonah Gabriel, discovered her son was missing after school officials reported that an unidentified woman had taken him at around 1:28 p.m. The woman, known locally as Destiny's mom because her child also attended the school, fled her residence the same night. The case was initially reported to the Transamadi Police Station and later transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department, SCID. Suspicion that the abductor had moved to Abuja prompted the victim's aunt to alert the FCT Police Command. Police efforts led to the arrest of the suspects and the recovery of the child. During questioning, Blessing Okoye claimed the boy was her biological son, calling him David Evans. However, inconsistencies in her account and evidence presented by the boy's mother confirmed the child's true identity. Further questioning revealed that the suspect had deceived the former lover, Evans, into believing the boy was his biological son, despite him being from a previous relationship. Another young boy was found in the suspect's custody, whom she claimed was her son, stating that his father had died. On 6 December 2024, the boy was reunited with his mother at the office of the FCT Commissioner of Police, ending a 2-month ordeal. The Commissioner commended officers for their commitment and urged school proprietors to prioritize the safety of children in their care. The child's mother expressed gratitude to the police, stating that the resolution of the case vindicated her amidst accusation within the family. The suspect remains in police custody and faces imminent charges in court soon. So the growing problems with kidnapping of children, the sale of children. What are your thoughts on it as regards this story?
For this story, when I was going through this story, it was kind of funny at some point. I'm like, okay, the biscuit and egg part got me. The biscuit and egg thing. And then I'm like, what? Like, is it that the teacher doesn't know her family member or her sister or siblings for them to be able to let the person go with the child? Because they said an unknown person took her. That means they saw who was taking whomever. So that means they saw what happened and let it happen. I don't know what
you know the community school pattern.
Yeah.
From the best of my understanding, is not really restrictive as regards to the fact that a parent must sign out a child. Most of these children in community schools actually leave when school is over, right? Many of them are able to go home on their own.
But he didn't go on his own. Someone took him, and it's not the parents, it's not the sibling or her sister. So I just think the school is actually very careless. I know it's a community school, yes, but still you should put an eye on the kids. They are in your care at the moment, in your premises. And then she luring the child out with egg and biscuits, and then lying about how being the mother of the child to her ex-lover and then to many other people. I think she needs to be put into mental hospital kind of thing, because she looks like she's mad. Like, you take someone's child from where the child's supposed to be far to Abuja, and then you're lying to someone. I think she wants to extort the person of money or something for lying that this child is mine. And then the mother actually, I don't know how it was when I was small, but I know that my mom used to teach me about don't take things from strangers.
Now, do you think that those values the parents used to, we all grew up in a system where your parents would say, don't talk to strangers, don't open the door for strangers, don't take things from strangers. Do you think that culture, as it were, is failing?
It is not failing, it's failed already. Because it's actually failed. Apart from some persons that are still holding on to it, a lot of persons have left those culture. Because I can imagine when I was small, only my mom's eyes, like we use sign languages. Your mom just blinks an eye, and you know she wants you to do so thing. My mom tells you, don't do this, and you won't do it. I don't know if parents do not tell their children now because they want them to learn for themselves, but I think the child was probably not told that at home.
Why do you think that has changed, that pattern of upbringing? What do you think has caused it to change in recent times?
I think they don't even pay attention to what the child does or what the child doesn't do, because you would want your child to obey you, and I'm sure if you tell your child don't do this, he will do it. But I think it's just because of the system, and everybody just want to do their thing, and that's a very small child. I won't want to judge that child because you're very small, and probably the mother didn't tell the child not to do it. So I think people follow, we are adopting what people are doing out there and putting it in our family, like what people are doing outside the country or maybe outside your vicinity. You see someone else doing it and you want to try it on your kid, because if she had told her child don't do this, or she had followed what probably our parents used to tell us when we were small, the child will not be adopted like that and taken to a far state from her. So I think she didn't tell this child what to do, what not to do. She just leaves the child. Probably maybe she doesn't have much to eat, so whatever the child wants to get out there, she may also feel the stomach at the moment, instead of just telling her don't beg, don't do this, and then you don't have what to give that child. So I probably think she's coming from the perspective of
let's hold on to the thought of not having much. Do you think that could be a reason why we have this failure that we are talking about as regards to, growing up where you have the don't take things from strangers? Do you think the hunger, the inflation, the cost of living is now a factor where, parents don't imbibe those attributes in their children anymore as they should?
As a person, personally, I'm speaking from my own perspective, I don't think it is. Because when I was growing up, we didn't have much. We don't have the whole world. Sometimes we even eat once a day or twice, or don't even eat. Sometimes we just sip Gary, just put Gary in a bowl and everybody is sipping it. So, and they still tell us don't take things from strangers.
Right.
They don't take it. It's not right. So even they will tell us don't beg. If you're hungry, come home. Whatever we have, we'll manage it and we will eat it. Even if it doesn't fool you, go and sleep, drink plenty of water. So I just think it is not a factor. For some persons, it might be, but for me, I don't think that's a factor. Because if there is not much, you are the mother. You can do something about it. You can be the one to do the begging or something, or asking, or maybe borrow, or maybe go work. Not leaving your child to go and beg, because that can actually lead the child into a very wrong hand.
Right.
Like this one was led into a wrong hand and kidnapped and went to Abuja.
What are your thoughts?
What happened during those 2 months or how many months
the child been with the woman?
Yeah.
Sadly. What are your thoughts on security in public schools? Like I mentioned earlier, in public schools, in private schools, you have to tell the school, oh, this child is going to be going home on their own, right?
Yeah.
Most times in private schools, when you go to the schools, you need to sign your kid out.
Yeah, sign out, sign in.
You sign in and you sign out. Do you think those processes, if they imbibe it in government-owned schools, do you think that would work? Especially given the fact that most people that send their children to community schools in recent times now are mostly people that are busy, people that are in the markets, people that are working and with parents trying to, get food on the table for their children. Do you think that is a system that can keep children more safeguarded in a school environment?
That's if it's being adopted and if it is done. It's one thing to say do this and it's one thing to do it. Some people, you tell them do this particular thing as a school, and then you see they are not. Like there was a time I heard that the school was supposed to write jam, but they wrote jam and then government had to catch them. So even if the government wants to tell them do this, it's for them to do it. And because you won't be there to see it happen. You're not in the school, you're not teaching, you're not a supervisor, you are in your office. So most of those schools, I think maybe the pay would help them, energize them to want to do those things. I don't know if they are being paid well, those government schools. Because there was a time I heard that government school teachers do not teach well because they are not paid well. Some of them don't even come to school. If they come, they could just stay in one spot and not do what they're supposed to do because of payment. So I think if they are being taken care of well, they would want to care for the kids. Because these private schools we go to, they are paid well. The teachers are paid well. Everybody is paid well. So your money is not in vain. You're supposed to look after those kids. So you do something when you are more encouraged. So I think if the government wants them to do that, they should help them out with a lot of things they might need, because most of those schools are lacking a lot of facilities. I probably think they don't even have securities in their buildings, like people that can, because most of those schools don't even have gates. There's one I used to see, doesn't have a gate. The place is wide open, so anybody can come in and so I think most of those things can help if there's enough resources to get security in place, because a security should know a mother and a child, because they're always passing your gate. And for you, this person to pass with this, you're not the mother, who are you? So I just think they should be well encouraged money wise, and probably enough facilities for them to have enough staffs that can look into these things, because most teachers or most supervisors or principals might not be there while those things are happening.
All right. So other than the teachers, what do you think about the inclusion of minders?
Minders. Wait, do they have minders?
Schools are meant to have minders when you're dealing with, you know, with minors, as it were.
That's for the minder part. It's still the same thing we're talking about. They are supposed to be paid well, because I can't be cleaning. For minders, most of them, they clean poops and they clean pee and they clean all those things. So I can't be cleaning those things and not being paid well. So I think if they are being encouraged, but maybe they could go teach them these things, because most of them, they don't even care, they don't even pay attention to it. So they could be like a seminar where you teach them, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, and then in the process encourage them with something that can energize them to want to do what you told them to do.
Now, one last question before we leave. This case about her going to meet one Mr. Evans and saying the kid is his, you know, how does that translate to you when you look at it through the view of paternity fraud?
That's what I was saying, because I think she did it on purpose. She calculated that part. I think that child, maybe she has been watching the child for a while, calculating, learning the name, maybe even going to meet the child on the street once in a while, because I'm 4 years old and you're not my mom, and I'm following you and I'm not crying.
Sometimes they're drugged. Sometimes they're drugged after they're taken.
But she didn't drug the boy in the school premises. The boy willingly followed because of biscuit and the egg. So I think she's been watching the child, knowing that this person probably looks like the Evans that she once dated, and then she just adopted the child so she could raise money from that person. I think she also needs help too, because she's deranged mentally.